Okay, so we're given some information here. We're looking at a triangle. We're given the area of a triangle, and we're given the height of the triangle. We have to figure out the base, B. We know height and we know area. How do you find area of a triangle? What's the formula? Area is equal to what? Base times height divided by 2. Write down this formula. You can write it like this. Area equals base times height divided by 2. Right? Remember this? In this question, we have a variable that's called A that represents the area. You have a B that represents the base. And you have an H that represents the height. Can you replace any of these variables with any information you were given in the question? Yes. Do it. Replace. Can you replace A? Do you know the area? Yeah. Okay, so instead of writing A, what am I going to write? 64 equals, no, don't put units in your equation. Do you know B? No. So I'm going to leave that as B. Do you know the height of the triangle? What is it? So how would I write that? B times 8, right? You can put brackets. And the formula says divide that by 2. So I have B times 8 divided by 2 is equal to 64. We're trying to figure out B. How on earth do we do this? You have on this side of the equation an 8 divided by 2 times B, right? Can you simplify this 8 divided by 2? What is 8 divided by 2? So can I write this as 64 equals B times 4? What's 8 divided by 2? 4. I've just simplified that. This says B times 4. What's the opposite of times? If I divide this by 4, am I getting rid of this? Am I left with just B? What do I have to do on the left side? If I divide it by 4 here, what do I have to do here? Divide it by 4. So B is equal to, what's 64 divided by 4? That's it. Does that make sense? Let's check. Let's check. Hold on. If the base is... The area was 64. Let's see if it makes sense. Area of a triangle is equal to the base. Well, what did we say the base was? What did we just say the base was? 16 times, what's the height? 8. Divided by 2. That's the formula for area. What's 16 times 8?
128.
What is that? 128 divided by 2?
64.
So, does it work? The area had to be 64 centimeters squared. You just figured out the base if it has an area of 64 centimeters squared. It works. Go back and plug it into the equation. What is area of a rectangle equal to? Length times width. What is the length? What is L? If you know that the width is, what's the width?
7.
Do we know the area?
Yes.
We do. So plug it in and solve it. Figure out W. Replace A with, what's the area? 98. What's the length? We don't know. What's the width? How do I solve for L? How do I figure out what L is equal to? If 98 is equal to L times 7, what do I have to do to isolate 7? I mean, to isolate L. Yes, divide both sides by 7. That isolates your L. What is L equal to? 14. So now I'm going to ask you to check. Is it true that 14 times 7, if this is 14, is 14 times 7 98? Yes, so it's got to work. Okay, now I want to ask you, can you guys find the perimeter now if you know the dimensions? What's the actual perimeter? If this is 14, what's this side?
14.
Okay, if this side's 7, what's this side? What's the perimeter then? It's not on your, that's not a question that you were given, but I'm adding it. What's the perimeter? We would do 14 plus 14 plus 7 plus 7. What's the actual perimeter equal to? Yes?
It's 42.
42.
42 meters.